think every artist has a different way of doing things. A lot of glass artists draw out they have sketches of drawings of how they plan on doing things, and I don't. I never have. I remember in the hot shop glass blowers would want me to draw stuff on chalk on the floor, and it just didn't make sense to me. I see something in my head, and that's how it goes. And a lot of times it's when I'm laying in bed at night, when I'm driving, I kind of get an idea and I think I can make this work by doing this, this, and this. Right out of high school, I took like a metalsmithing jewelry class at Joliet Junior College here in Joliet, Illinois. And there was a teacher named Bev Deckman, and she, at the time, was doing a lot of glass work. I think she still is. And I started doing like basic bead making on just really small, it was called a minor bench burner torch. And I continued taking the class a few semesters just to do glass work. I kind of was more interested in glass than the metal end of making jewelry. And my parents were always really supportive. They helped me purchase my own equipment, and then I worked out of their basement on and off for probably close to 10 years. I'm basically all self-taught on the torch. I've had some classes here and there, but I never have been to art school or school directly for doing glass work. I and a friend of mine had her cat passed away, and she gave me some of her cat's cremains to try it out, and I gave it a try, and I've been working on it since then, and that's how I got involved in the local funeral industry and working with hospice. It's very fulfilling. It's, when I have families come here and they're in tears and they're thanking me over, helping them grieve the loss of their loved one. It's, unless you go through it, you don't know how it feels, and I never thought 15, 16, 17 years ago I was gonna, work in the funeral industry, and I am now, and I love it. And it's, it's a really, really good feeling, to do that, so. I try to have people come in. I do a lot of work locally. I love working locally. I love it. I love the customers being able to come here and talk to me and have a conversation, shake their hand, meet them, learn about if it was their pet or, a human loved one that passed away. A lot of customers will contact me and say, how do I order off your website? And I don't have that on my website for this reason, because I feel like if people are out of state, I'd rather have them call and communicate with me about what they want so I can make it mean more to them, so it could be more custom. So you say if you were local and you wanted to get a cremation piece done, you could come to my studio, we'd meet, we could kind of look at different colors I have in glass, you could kind of look at some of my example pieces and then give me your ideas of what you're looking to have done. And then I can kind of take it and say, okay, well, if you're, wanting this, why don't we use this, or, different stuff like that to give you my advice and say, well, if we do this, this might happen, but if they're okay with that, then I'm all good with it, and we'll go from there, so. I had a student of mine, she was only 17 when she started taking classes with me, and she passed away when she was a little over 18, and I just worked on a large order for her mom with her cremains. And it's a whole different perspective when you know the person you're working on. And I kind of put the order off for a little bit because it's emotional, and then it just got to a point that I was like, okay, I gotta go in and I gotta do this, and I put certain music on and I worked, and it helped me also deal with the grief of her being gone at such a young age. There are certain colors that don't work well with cremains, and I can't explain why to people, but there was a lady that I had that wanted to put her husband, she got a few different pieces done, but she decided on a Pandora bead for a Pandora bracelet with her husband's cremains in it, and there was like 2 different colors, and then she wanted a pink one done. And I probably made 6 of those beads with his cremains in it, and they cracked every time. And I can't tell you why they cracked, they just did. And finally I just said to her, like, I don't think your husband wants me in pink. And she loved it. And I was like, okay, we'll use a different color. And she was like, I think you're right. I don't think my husband would want to be in pink. And I designed a few years ago, pieces are called my fillable pieces. And they're nice because for people who aren't getting cremated, it gives people an option to have a memorial piece made. So for like a pet or a human, you can take clippings of hair, and I could put those in the fillable piece, and it's basically a circle pendant, and it has like a chamber in it that I put a hole in it, and then I basically epoxy it plug on. But I could also, like my grandfather just passed away, and I'm making a bunch of fillable pieces with his hair, and then also flowers from his wake mixed in. But I could also do like sand from a beach, like if you want to memorialize like a wedding or something, things like that. So not just, on the death end of it. But it's nice because anything that basically can fit in this chamber, I could fit in there and gets epoxied shut. And it's nice because it magnifies everything. So the flowers magnify and the hair magnifies. I was kind of thinking, the chamber can only be so big. And now, the type of artist I am, I'm thinking, now that I'm spending so much time on these fillable pieces, it's like the wheels are turning, and I'm thinking, well, if I could do this, well, I could do it even bigger.